That's us. Go ahead, Colin.
Hello and welcome to Separated by Water, podcast number 5. My name's Colin Campbell. I'm a Spurs season ticket holder and from Drumahoe in Northern Ireland.
I'm Paul Galt, Nottingham Forest supporter, and we're with you today for Separated by Water podcast.
Hello, just a reminder that our podcast is really for everyone. It's all-inclusive, but it probably has a particular interest for those of us living in Ireland, north or south, who support or follow a team across the water and are separated by water in England. And that's for you. We do want to hear your comments. We've had some very helpful ones or opinions. And if you'd like to join us, either by live feed or by making a video, we'll come to that later, we would be very, very grateful. Okay, we've quite a lot to get through. So, Paul, you want to puzzle us today, do you, before we get going?
Yeah, I'll give you the puzzle for today. It's a bit obscure, but it's hard to think up something every day. No, it's what are the two closest football grounds to one another in English football? I'll give you, we always said we would never do Scottish football. Dundee and Dundee United are 200 yards apart.
Yes,
these grounds are slightly further, but not much at all. So throw in their guesses.
And they're currently in one of the 4 divisions, each of them.
One's in the Premier League and one is not.
Ooh, okay. Well, that rules out Arsenal Spurs. You're very...
Send in your comments. I probably shouldn't have gave that away, but send in your comments. And if you've any guesses, give us a shout and away we go.
Right. I will start thinking again. I think I'm 2 out of 3 both times we have played this. So I don't know. Well, it can't be 1 out of 2 anyway. Yeah. Okay. Just done the intros and we're all good to go. I think a feature we're going to hopefully have as often as we possibly can is one we're calling Video Diary. Not the most original of names, but I think you'll see in a minute. And unfortunately for me, I was the guinea pig for this one. My journey from Drumahoe started at 3 o'clock on Sunday morning and ending by tea time yesterday. So we have a wee couple of clips to show you, and then we'll have a look and reflect.
Yeah, and I have to say, thanks for doing it. It must have been a chore after the game to pick up your phone and talk to us. It's a tough one. I know how my mood is after a game. I could be in bad form for a week afterwards, So thanks for doing it. And here, this will just show you what Colin goes through heading over to a match as of early in the morning. Starts off nice and dark.
Very briefly, on my way on the motorway, quite dark, quite empty, but pleasant. This is what, 11:30, and this is the queue to get into the Coach and Horses. This is one of our preferred bars now because they'll let us leave our bag behind the bar rather than pay a tenner to Mr. Levy for the dubious pleasure. However, I'm not sure how long this is going to take. Coach and Horses. It's a bit full for my liking. Must be getting old. This is the outside part. As always, the weather is Alright, well, we're here. Belfast City, Gatwick Express, Victoria, breakfast in Wetherspoons, and I think you can see something in the background. Yep, we're here. Quick walk along towards I'm going to make my way up now. I've been a fan for years upon years upon years. In the 70s, we went over to the Liverpool boat to hostile away matches. United, Leeds, Everton, Liverpool. Later on, you could fly to London. I was at White Hart Lane many times, fell in love with it. Years and years of happiness, years and years of disappointment, years and years of, I don't know. And then, finally, it all comes to this. Back in Coach and Horses, I don't know what to say.
That bit at the end, if a picture paints 1,000 words, that expression was everything. Completely different results at the weekend. We get a result that probably wasn't as big nice. I was hoping for a draw. You get the absolute punishment of travelling over there. My observations, a couple of things, Colin, is how clean and neat and tidy and how well finished that stadium is inside.
I thought you were going to say neither.
No. Your hairline, it just seems to be the same whenever you travel and whenever you're at home. A stunning stadium. Whenever you climb the steps and down into the pitch there, my God, amazing. Tell us about your trip. Tell us about it.
Yeah, okay. Well, in terms of we'll get into the football a wee bit later on. In terms of the travel, and the point of this is there are people who travel often or occasionally might be able to pick up some tips. I have a very good friend, Chris, who organises most of the things. So he lives in Hollywood, so we'll fly out of International or Belfast City. On this occasion, it was Belfast City. It's no real disadvantage to me travelling down by car. In fact, the Longside car park's probably a wee bit cheaper and quite accessible, even if it's raining, which it wasn't over the break. City Airport, a wee bit easier to negotiate the security and so on. Smaller, quieter, but all good. Easy to get go out of there. So that was fine. The Gatwick Express train's better than it used to be. It actually feels more of an express. It runs quite frequently. So the journey in, we get down, and then we have to take up underground to Seven Sisters and then overground to White Hart Lane, the old station in Northumberland. And it's okay. It brings us out where you saw a slight footage of where I was. We'll come out and we're right at the north end of the ground where we sit. And just to the left of that is the bricklayers, and further up the Coach and Horses. We're in a few hours. When you hear me there were a couple of glasses of wine, a couple of pints consumed, I have to admit. What can you do?
Why not?
But the journey, the problem is, of course, that you've got an overnight. We stay in a place called Kip down in Hackney Downs, which sounds far away. It's not. By that, going back in that train again, we can go right to the place. It's not a Kip. I think it's for play on the words for sleep. Seems to be run by French or students. We've been there 29 times, believe it or not. Now, they don't give us a penny discount for that, but it's not bad. Very functional.
How much is the accommodation?
Well, I put it all in a package. I'm talking to get me there, including everything, not including food and drink, is probably around the 200 quid mark, And then after that, the sky can be the limit. Now, we've talked about going out in the evening. Often when we get to the evening, we're so tired we don't bother.
Of course,
take away and stay in the room. But I would rather do more in London, than that. So you're talking about one of the problems for traveling fans, of course, is the fact that because of the sky scheduling, we can't book flights as early as we like to. The other one is that, because of the fear of delays, going very early in the morning. I mean, that was a 3 o'clock. My alarm went off at 3 a.m. And would get up at 7 a.m. the next morning. So it's a long day, and adrenaline often carried me through the whole thing. Excitement. As I get that bit older and a bit more jaded, it doesn't carry me as far as it used to, as you could probably see from the final video there. Is it worth it? Yeah. And anyone who's traveled to see a team live, I think it's very sad. For all the TV has done for football and sport in general, I think one thing it has maybe taken away to some extent is the absolute excitement of seeing the thing in real life, as you know. And you see so much of the game that the cameras don't follow. how people move off the ball or don't move off the ball, as the case can often be, and other bits and pieces. And there's just no substitute for that.
Yeah.
I was very young, lucky as a boy to be taken to, I think it was 1966, to see England play Northern Ireland at Winter Park. There were no colour TVs in the day, so Ireland coming out in the green and England in the white with the World Cup and Bobby Moore all muscular and yellow haired. It was an incredible experience, and that's the way to do it. Costs, I've talked about that, and probably, to be fair or to be more accurate, people who are going on for one journey would be paying about 65 quid per ticket, where ours are. So that's, you add that on top. I think a lot of people who maybe are going to be once a year, twice a year for a birthday or anniversary or Christmas or whatever, can push the boat out a little bit, and that's fair enough.
Yeah.
It can be done on a budget, and that's what we have to do because we go so often. So we have, we've shaved the edges quite a lot. We sometimes take a taxi on the second morning back up to the airport because we're tired. But if anyone wants any more details, email in. I can find out what I can find out for you rather than run it all night. But that was it. Obviously, you're coming home depressed, sad, angry, whatever it might be. But that's part and parcel of it, And
Yeah.
would I stop doing it? Basis? No.
I went over to the City Ground twice last year. One was in the FA Cup, Man United, beating the 97th minute. My grandson was with me, who's a Man United supporter, and the other was Burnley. That might have been the year before, but you come back, it's just, you just think, why did I bother? But then the urge to go again comes very quickly. It does. There's no doubt about it. Anyway, well, thanks for sharing that with us. Thanks for doing the diary. I know, as I said a minute ago, it must have been very hard after the late defeat. But anyway, we'll talk about that now in a minute.
Okay. Thank you for your concern. Okay, going from that, we actually move into the football a little bit, a feature we have called Emerging Issues. What we do is pick a couple of matches each and not go through the commentary of who did what, but any issues emerging from those games that might inform us for the rest of the season. Paul, you want to kick off? You're going to start with, let me guess.
I'm going to start with, I'll do the happy one first, Nottingham Forest. I'll do Nottingham Forest. Actually, I'm going to do Nottingham Forest. I'm going to let you tell me about the match, the football, and then I'll give you my observations about your match. Forest, well, actually, the way you asked the question, Colin, we do a running order for beforehand. So, for looking at Forest, are Liverpool contenders and are Forest safe? So you fully expected them to get beat as well. I'm guessing the way you worded the question, they didn't. And it wasn't a smash and grab. This was not a smash and grab. Nuno and their staff set up the team absolutely perfectly. They curtailed everything that Liverpool were doing in the midfield and up front. They looked like a different team, Liverpool, compared to what they were the week before. Players, we've signed some great players. Marino, I'm looking at them here just because a lot of them are new. Ward-Prowse, Elliot Anderson, they linked up fantastic. I was looking at some stats where the movement between them and accurate passes between the two of them were fantastic. Marino, Jota Silva, Ryan Yates. Ryan Yates is our least technical player, but he made a fool of McAllister. I'd say every time he closed his eyes when he went to bed the other night, he seen Ryan Yates' face, because it was man-to-man marking at his best. He never left his side. He never let him get anything on the ball at all. And then the late goal from our man, Hudson-Odoi, it's just, he keeps on doing it. Normally, and so far in this season, every time he tries to step inside, because everybody knows what he's going to do. Every game so far, when he steps inside, they double up on him. The defenders double up on him, they stop him. Liverpool didn't. And he slotted it in. And what a goal. Absolutely amazing goal. We bought, do you know how much we paid for Hudson-Odoi?
No, I don't know.
3 million. He was an academy player at Chelsea. We bought him for 3 million.
Oh, yeah.
Anthony Elanga, who set up, I don't know if you've seen the goal. It was a world-class move.
We featured him a few weeks ago, yeah.
Yeah. But he was the assist for Hudson-Odoi. He passed the ball round. He opened up their defence like a can of beans, and Hudson-Odoi just stepped in and hit it in for the late goal. I had very kind messages from a Liverpool supporter who was there. And it's worth mentioning as well that he said that they were very quiet. He said that the Anfield was quiet. He says the Forest fans were louder than them most of the game. He also mentioned, I'll mention something in a wee minute just at the end of this. But anyway, Forest won. I'm delighted, absolutely delighted. There are only 5 teams in the league that are unbeaten at the minute, and that's Arsenal, Brighton, City, Newcastle, and us, Forest. This time last year, I think we had 3 points at this stage last year. We had 8 games before we accumulated the points we have now. With 13 games before we accumulated the 8 points, and we're sitting with 8 points now, unbeaten, and 4 away games won in a row. And that's counting the last 2 in last year's season. So I'm very happy. I don't know if you've seen any of the Forest game or if you have any comments on it, Colin.
No, I mean, no real comment to back up. I mean, covered every blade of grass there, really. It delighted me. I'm never unhappy. Liverpool, there's no offence to them. They'll win more than they lose. Forest, I would like them to stay up. And I think those are great results. And have offset a couple of draws they had earlier, which I think should have been wins,
Yeah.
So well done, and well done to Nuno. You mean, I was one of the ones chasing him out at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium a few years ago. Maybe, with respect, he was very good with Wolves, and maybe he's finding the right level with Forest in terms of how he likes to set teams up. So congratulations all around. Humbly accept all of that. Yeah. You had some kind messages from Liverpool fans. Yeah. I had no kind messages from Arsenal fans.
Yeah.
So
I just want to mention something that is a mate Tim of mine that was over at the game, and he sent this photograph in, and it's the Nottingham Forest respect the 97 and stand solidarity with the survivors after the Hillsborough disaster. FA Cup final 89, was it? Semi-final.
Yeah, it was semi-final. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, at Hillsborough. Yeah. Forest,
so it's nice to see that teams do that. That's actually an organisation within our club called Forza Garibaldi, which is a supporters group. I think it was them that done it. They do most of the banners and stuff for us, and they're very good. But it's great to see that they go away.
I've heard you're a lovely couple.
It's great to see that the teams go away and fans can be supportive of one another and respect. This, what is it? The chanting that they do. It's just wrong. It's just horrible,
Yeah, it probably is. I think there are chances that are beyond the pale. Through my life, I've obviously joined in with some of the chants, but not. There are certain things I think are beyond the pale, and tragedies and disasters like that are beyond the pale. I agree. And congratulations again to Forest for supporting that. Congratulations all round. Okay, you go on to your next game.
Well, you go ahead. You go ahead with the Spurs Arsenal or the Southampton Man United, and then I'll comment. I'll come in. I want to hear from you first on the Spurs game.
I actually say very little about Southampton Man United. I didn't think there was much to say. It was steady as she blows kind of thing. Everything I expected. Southampton are going to defy my odds and go down if they don't hurry up. I do think, certainly, the Ramsdale could be one of the surprise buys of the season if he gets his act together. As much as he irritates me, he's a good goalkeeper. And Man United, maybe, well, we just don't know. I don't feel I know any more than I did before the match, whether they're going to threaten now and one or wins, or whether they're not. Well, we just don't know. Yeah. Well, a little bit, probably, I want to talk about Wolves Newcastle, the game. I think there are only 3 or 4, probably 3 English managers in the Premiership. I think it was 2 of them were against each other in this match, O'Neill and Howe. A couple of things about it. I think that Howe, I think sometimes is maybe because he's English or because he's very reserved or none of those things. He never seems to be mentioned with the same reverence as the Peps or the foreign, more exotic manager of the league, if you will. But a couple of things. They went 1 down away from home. They kept attacking, and he made 3 changes at half time, which changed the whole game. And when Barnes came on and Ali, and they That was brave. He got it going. He didn't wait to the 87th minute to try anything. And on they went. And they didn't have all the possession. And, sometimes I get fed up with these possession statistics. Possession is like having money and not spending it. You've got to be effective. And he used the term, which they find a way to win. He knows they're not playing at their best, but they're still trying to win. So go back to Anthony after week one, who criticised us both for ignoring Newcastle in our predictions. Well, Anthony, thumbs up. You're acknowledged, and we'll see how we'll go. For Wolves, probably, they're going to be where they're going to be. I think they'll be very disappointed about that defeat. First goal, their goal was excellent. But I foresee a season of struggle, but a struggle in which their expectations will be met in that they will stay up. One last game to see, Villa and Everton. Well, look at the table there. Really what emerged for me was that Everton are telling us, they're certainly trying to tell us that they're going down. And they're trying to tell us why they're going to go down. I think Oscar Wilde said once to err once, yeah, okay, but to do it again and to expect, and doing the same things and expecting different outcomes will lead you into the abyss. And that's where Everton appear to be going. -9 already. I feel sorry for them. I've already said that. Villa, yeah, they probably have another season like they had. They'll probably finish 4th or 5th. Probably get out of the group in the Champions League. And all things said and done, we'll have what they consider to be a successful season. Keep an eye on them in the cups, is what I would say. And that's emerging for me as maybe clubs are starting to find their position. And that is ominous for Tottenham.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It occurred to me, your predictions at the start of the season. Like you look at the bottom of the league there, and Tottenham shouldn't be there. I didn't expect Fulham to be there. Didn't expect West Ham, although West Ham can have a flaky enough start to the year. Crystal Palace normally up round top 10, so there's a few changes there. In that, I didn't expect Nottingham Forest to be up in 7th. I didn't really expect Brentford to be in 9th. Chelsea, once again, they're getting their act together. They're starting to get results, but we'll wait and see. Man United game, I thought if Southampton had scored that penalty, I think it could have been a completely different result because before that it was all Southampton. It was all Southampton.
Yeah. And that's what I mean about United. Maybe we just don't know. It didn't really tell us any more than we already knew. In my opinion,
I think you summed it up that we don't know any more or any less. It surprises me that they're saying Anthony, who was he 80 million? And they're saying, Ten Hag's saying that he has to prove himself on the training ground before he gets picked for the team. There's another reflection. Man United and I'm not wanting to beat up Man United because I know too many Man United supporters, and I know that they will come good and they've got the strength and depth within the club to survive and keep on getting better. But whenever you look at it in the European games tonight, you've got Villa's playing young boys, and you've got other teams, and then Man United's playing Burnley on a European week tonight. It's just a bad position for them to beat. Sorry?
Well, Spurs are playing Coventry.
Yeah.
So it's that's which of course is a 87 Cup final. Hope it's not the 87 Cup final result.
Yeah. So there is. I think there's a movement, a mix-up happening in the Premiership. I think the top 6 maybe are going to be redefined, but we'll wait and see. I just hope that Forest are part of that. I hope that Forest are going to be, as I said before, a top 10 club. I'd be happy if they stayed there. So that's the Spurs game. I watched it, Colin, and at half time I went up to the kitchen, made myself a cup of tea, and my good lady wife asked me how the game was going. And I said Spurs probably had the most of the first half, the better of the first half. And she said, how do you think it's going to end? I says, I reckon that Arsenal will get a late goal and that will stitch it up. As it happens, I just think the Spurs just too often do the same thing. And Forest have done it as well, but Spurs just seem to always just let that goal go. I don't know what's wrong. I don't know why. I don't know. Postecoglou, has the polish gone off him? Do you still think he's the man for you?
It's easy. I never, it's easy for me. So I was always a bit wary. I'm wary of managers who win all these things elsewhere. But we had some. I'm not going to go back and revise all the results. But what I will say is, over the last 20 or so matches, Spurs have lost most of them. In my travels, the last 6 games I have been to at Tottenham Stadium have all been defeats. Think about that. 5 from last season. We have had all summer to sort out set pieces, defending them, and we insist on not doing so. So, that's one thing. I think because of those, I sense the lack of confidence, the little bit of tension that Spurs sides have often had. And to be honest, the crowd weren't, I think 90% of the Spurs fans are expecting what happened to happen.
Yeah.
And we give them a bit of leeway. But, singling out players, my preferred midfield would be Sarr, and Madison. I Bentancur, I think the fella has a lot in his mind at the minute with all the issues going on. And I'm not sure he's fully recovered from his ACL. And then Johnson, I don't know. I'm disappointed.
He himself off social media.
He took himself off. He was a naturally gifted player who refused to beat the fullback, refused to make a telling cross. The only thing was when he was taken off, Timo Werner, who came off, must have been told, "You see where Johnson was hiding over there? Will you go over and hide there as well?" And to be honest, I was faster going to the loo than he was getting up to.
I'll take him back at Forest tomorrow.
Well, say no more. No, that would be very well. But I'll say no more other than that, except to say that there was another news item about $1 billion. A masterstroke put off by Spurs. Spurs maybe are hierarchy are successful in what they want to be, which is incredibly rich and profitable. They're not successful in what we want to be, which is a winning team. And you see this talk about possession. I don't care. I want effectiveness, goals, attacking, defense. There's nothing wrong with defense. It's an essential part of the game. I played a defense in my days, and I think it's a beautiful part of the game done properly.
Yeah.
And we really need to get that together. This is going to turn nasty sooner rather than later. Okay, that's enough from me on that one.
Yep, with a comment in there, just tell me that United are playing Barnsley tonight. I said Barnsley.
That's a big one. I can't wait for that one.
Yeah. What competition's that in?
The Carabao League Cup.
Let's start with that, right? Okay.
League Cup.
Okay. Yeah. Well.
Okay. Moving on, guys. We have a feature called Emerald Eye. It's a play on Emerald Isle, of course. We like to give a good name call check to a player. And I think, I don't think he was playing on at the weekend, but a fellow, Seamus Coleman, Everton, 35 years of age at the minute, offered a new contract. And good luck to him. He played for Sligo Rovers, I believe, went over to Everton, and has effectively been a one-club man. He made his league debut against Spurs, believe it or not, like 2009. He's been captain of Everton since 2019. One blight was and he's been a number of caps for the Republic of Ireland and has been an excellent stalwart for them. A very bad injury against Wales a few years ago, which I think, maybe it's just affected him. But some things about him: an unsung hero, a one-club man at Everton. Whether there was talk of him going at any given time, whether the injury prevented a move to another club, I'm not sure. But that doesn't matter. He played his heart out for Everton. If they had 11 of him at the minute, they wouldn't be where they are now. And he's been a great role model for people on this side of the water who go across, make a career on that side of the water. So Seamus, good luck. Get well soon, and your team needs you.
Yeah. Just on that, the one club man, Stephen Gerrard.
Okay.
Is that a thing? Is that going to be a thing of the past? you see players. They're at the minute we're building a team around Morgan Gibbs White, and the chances are that he's going to be bought off as taken away to a bigger and better club, or in the eyes of the Premiership, a bigger and better
he's
club.
listening to you. He's going to, because you're trying to sell him every week.
No, I'm not trying to sell him. I'm saying that we're told all the time Murillo and Morgan Gibbs White are going to be sold to make money. But it would be great to see the attraction to stay at a club. Maybe see Forrest maybe getting a bit better. I'm using Forrest as an example. Harry Kane, if he stayed with Spurs, would you have won that game the other day? Who knows?
Who knows?
I know, but I'm just saying, Harry Kane.
Yeah, I understand.
He was almost a one club man. Steven Gerrard. There's a few others. Letizia, what was it? He was Southampton right through and through, wasn't he?
He was indeed.
Yeah, so it'd be nice to see more of that, and not the money coming into the game. But money is the game now. The game is money. So
I salute the players, and I can't help but throw in Steve Perryman there. Through the 60s, 70s, and 80s, he played for Tottenham. I salute all those players, and particularly the ones who are with clubs who aren't winning. It'd be easy to be a one-club man in Man City or Real Madrid, but the Letizia, the Coleman, she was Coleman. Others have been very loyal now; they're very well paid and all that kind of thing. Still, it's the thing of the past. I think increasingly so, because European players look at the thing differently. They look at a 3-year, 5-year project. They move on. I would nearly compare it to what I know of Formula One drivers, who, while they're still representing Team X, it's already known that next season they're going to be playing for Team Y or driving for Team Y. I wonder that maybe just the culture there. I always wanted the fantasy of believing that all my players on my team want to play for my team. I hope it stays. I hope we will still have one club men in our lifetime and beyond. I think they're important. They're often the lifeblood. They're often the captains. I think Spurs could do one of them now. A real leader, a real batter. Anyway,
Son's sort of taking that role, but isn't he? Son's taking. I was looking at his stats the other day. He's getting up there. He's played a lot of games for you. He's scored a lot of goals. He's never going to. I don't think he'll ever get near what Harry Kane did, but he's still.
Yes, he is. But he can be moved. He was made peripheral the other day.
Yeah.
Arsenal came out and knew how to play Spurs, and Spurs didn't have a plan to change it and just kept going. And I think that's the pity that. And Arsenal aren't a great team. I don't know. I'm insulting them by saying that. I think they know they're not. They were a little bit weakened, but they came out with a game plan, strangled it, and got their goal and went away. And I have to admire that. Son, love them. I love them all. Don't get me wrong. I complain. I say members of my family. I'll complain about them, but I love them all. But in my heart of hearts, there are certain realities I cannot any longer ignore. And I think there needs to be a different setup in defence to play to the strengths of the players we have, and also perhaps a willingness to change during the game and close it off a bit. Enough said. Okay. Well, good luck, Seamus. Yes, one club man. Excellent. Here's hoping that with more of them. Paul, next piece. You've been vocal before. Note of concern.
Back to the table.
You would have to be on another planet to not, or if you're a sports fan, not to have noticed what starts this week. Anything you want to say?
Yeah, it's back to the same old. I think it's a defining moment for the Premiership. Man City, their hearing started on Monday. I dug up the charges. I read through a report there that was in the Times or something like that there. They breached financial rules in the season 2009-10, 2010-11, 2012-13, 2013-14, right up to 2017-18. They breached, and that's failure to give accurate financial transactions. PSR breaches, 2015, 2016, 2017.
Now, are these actual breaches or accusations?
Well, they failed to provide accurate financial information. That's the charge.
So failure to provide is the offence.
That's the offence. The PSR, I understand there's 3 of them, and that's the 2015-16 season, 16-17 season, and 17-18 season. But why is there so much secrecy around it, Colin? I just can't understand why we've got a hearing that affects the Premiership, affects Man City, it affects the whole league, it affects every team that's in that league. Everton and Forest were dealt with fairly quickly. Leicester had a great win, beat the system, got the loophole, and I think that's all that Man City are doing here. But it's going to go on for 10 weeks. And then they said that they said the same thing as they said about Nottingham Forest hearing, that they were going to give a result or an outcome by the end of the season, before the end of the season. But then we've got the appeal system. We've got appeal process. So they're definitely going to appeal it. All these teams appeal it. So what happens then, it means if they win the league this year again, it goes into next year. Because it's unlikely it's going to be heard this year. And I just think it's a defining moment now for the Premiership to say, either deal with these rules and make them stick and use them equally and fairly against all teams, or scrap them and make it a free-for-all. Because it seems to me there is a bit of a free-for-all where it comes to Man City. They're spending money like there was a consultancy. One of their owners was paid $2 million for 4 days consultancy work in the Middle East somewhere, and that's meant to be that's to take away that he was paid wages in that period. So I don't know. It's beggars belief that this is going to go on for the length of time it's going to go on, and another Premier League is going to be won by a team that maybe shouldn't be in it at the minute. Maybe they should be relegated.
Well, let's not. Everything is alleged at the minute, as far as I'm aware.
Of course.
And there's a difference between being found innocent, i.e., didn't do anything wrong, and getting away with having done something wrong. It remains to be seen, but it is concerning. No matter what happens, we're already concerned because of everything you've said. This has run forever. People don't know. I think there's a suspicion that the league, if it will be weak in this one, because of all that's at stake. We'll just have to wait and see. But certainly, I think it is a matter for concern for football fans everywhere. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so keep an eye on that one for us. Keep an eye on that. It's going to be a
story now for the next number of weeks. It's going to be a story that's going to run on and run on. But anyway, we'll wait and see.
All right. Well, look, we've come to the end, really. What I wanted to do, the puzzler, the 2 grounds are closest to each other.
Have you any guesses?
One's in the Premiership and the other one is not. I'm going to try Nottingham Forest and Notts County.
Spot on. And I promise you guys, I didn't give him the answer beforehand. I don't know if he Googled it while we were on or not.
He wouldn't.
Meadow Lane. Meadow Lane, where I park the car, or come in the train, I should say, in Nottingham, and walk up through. You walk past. We call it Lego Land. It's yellow. It's horrible. And then you come in and you see City Ground sitting on the banks of Trent. It's lovely. But 270 meters apart, and two of the almost oldest clubs in the league.
That's right.
So we'll try and get a bit more interesting one next week. I changed our logo up at the top to Hudson-Odoi. We've got a great new song about Hudson-Odoi, so you can look that up. Yeah.
Right.
So that was that.
Any further business, Paul?
Yes. Anthony Joshua on Saturday night. I hope he does the business in Dubois. He's
wasn't expecting that.
No, I just hope he does. I hope he wins. Right. He comes in. I think it's a big fight for him. I know this podcast isn't about boxing, but I think Anthony Joshua he's back again. I liked his last fight, and I think that he's sort of invented himself, and I hope he wins. Will you watch that, will you?
No, I may not, because hopefully next Saturday night I'll be landing in Canada.
That's right.
In Toronto. But I'll be back in. And I hope we'll be looking into it, guys. We hope to be continuing the podcast with me from Canada over the next couple of weeks while I'm on holiday. But we'll sort that out for you.
It might be a different time, and we may look to try and get, like, we're getting loads of comments, loads of personal comments to me. And thanks, Ferg, for dipping in today. We may look at doing an evening podcast so that people aren't at work. I sent a message this morning to a guy and said, jump on the comment, and he says, I'm at work. So people do have to work around this time. So we may look at doing it 7 o'clock at night or something like that there, so maybe more people can do live. So Canada will give us a tester for it anyway.
All right. Well, all I want to say now is, after this most trying of weekends, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hopefully see you soon, and take care. Thank you.
All right, guys. Thank you. We'll see you next week. At some stage, I'll put a post up on YouTube, and you'll get any subscribers will be told automatically. Thanks for listening to us, and we'll talk to you next week. Cheers. Stay safe.